Okay guys, so we're going to start off by moisturizing our skin. I'm just using the Multi-X Repair Cream. This is a moisturizer I got in my Ipsy bag this month. And then to prime, I'm using the No More Pores. I really like this primer. It just smooths out my skin. It makes me look poreless and it really makes my makeup last all day long. And then for my eyeshadow base, I'm going with my Anastasia Beverly Hills one, and this is great as well. It just really smooths out my lids and it makes my eyeshadow last all day long. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set with some translucent powder. So that is what I'm doing right here. I'm using the Coty Air Spun in the color Translucent. And then we're going to go ahead and start with the eyes. I'm using my Through My Eyes palette, and this is by iluvsarahi and Colourpop. This was her collab that she did with them, her most recent collab. I love this palette. This is the first time I'm using it, and I actually am super impressed. I mean, I love all Colourpop eyeshadow palettes. I haven't had any issues with any of them, but I just love the color range in this specific palette. I feel like it's so great for all year round. You can use it for the fall, you can use it for summer looks. I just really like it, and I think it's such a great price point as well. I believe this was only $26. A little bit about the palette itself. I really like the palette overall. I feel like the shades blend very nicely. They show up very nicely. You can definitely build it up. You can definitely get an intense look. I feel like the shimmer shades in this palette work better with your finger, but in my honest opinion, I feel like any shimmer, any like duochrome, glitter kind of pigment is going to work best with your finger. It's just going to give you the most intense look. So I do always just tend to use my finger when it comes to those kind of shadows, but you can also use a synthetic brush as well. You can always just spritz it with some setting spray, primer spray, and it'll kind of just give you that same intensity without having to use your finger. But yeah, I love the palette. I cannot wait to play more with it. I definitely will be filming more videos with it. I didn't have any issues, like I said, with this look. I actually really like the way it came out. And yeah, so I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to kind of just let you guys watch and see what I'm doing. And yeah, I will be back. Okay guys, so we're going to get into the liner part of this look, and I'm using this Cella eyebrow pen in the color brown. This I got in my Ipsy bag as well this month, and I have to say I am loving this eyeliner pen. It's so easy to use, it glides on beautifully, it's extremely intense, which I love when it comes to ink liners, or pen liners I should say. I swear by my Kat Von D tattoo liner, that is the only type of pen liner I use, both in brown and black, just because I love that pen. And I loved how the brush was so easy to just kind of move and give you that really intense flick. But this is just as great. I feel like this kind of reminds me a little bit more of her ink liner type of style, but it definitely is really easy, like I said, to use. You can build it up, you can get a super intense bold liner look, and you can also kind of just flick it out at the end, which is like what I love. I really like a sharp kind of tail. This is the color brown, but it does come off I feel like a little bit darker than brown, but it definitely is not as intense like a black. So yeah, if you're looking for a good liner, I suggest checking this out. I'm not sure how much it is. I'm gonna have to check and see, but I'll have all that information below for you. But yeah. The falsies that I am using are the House of Lashes Iconic Lights. House of Lashes have like the easiest bands to use. They are so flexible, especially their light collection. They're just really easy to put on and move. And they're perfect for my eye size. I don't have to trim them down at all. But yeah, so if you are interested, check them out. They're amazing. I love them. And I really have nothing else to say about them. Here I am tight lining my upper waterline. I feel like this is such an important part when you are wearing falsies or if you're even doing a liner, just because it kind of really helps blend everything together and just look more natural. And there's like that weird gap in between like your lash and your false lash. So I highly recommend trying this if you haven't. It does feel a little bit weird and look a little weird, I know, but once you do it, you'll get used to it and you'll never not want to do it again. But yeah, so I do use the Makeup Forever gel liner. I do prefer to use a gel liner when it comes to tight lining my upper and lower lash line, just because I feel like it lasts longer. So yeah, recommend doing that if you haven't tried it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and touch up my eyes, add shadow where I feel like I need to add my shadow, make it look a little more intense. I really like kind of like a stronger outer corner eye, so I did add a darker brown to that to kind of give it more depth. And then I'm going to finish the rest of my face. I'm just using my, what is that? A Hard Candy Primer Setting Spray to kind of just help give a little bit of glisten to my face. And then I'm just going to go in with the Becca Backlight Primer to add some glowiness to it, because I am going to be using a more of a fuller coverage foundation. And for foundation, I'm using my So Bougie YSL, what is this, All Hours foundation. I love this foundation. I did pay a lot for it, but I love it. It's a good everyday foundation for me. It keeps me matte. It doesn't look super intense for like a full coverage look, but you definitely can get that if you want that by just building it up. But of course, I like to make it last a little longer since I did spend like my whole paycheck on it. But no, just kidding. But yeah, so now I'm going to go in and I'm using my new, what is this? I can't even remember. My L'Oreal concealer. I have heard so many people rave about this stuff, and I must say, I really do like it. I feel like it really did do its job. It covered my eyes. I like to get a little lighter when it comes to the shade, just because I like to have it more of like a highlight underneath my eye. So that is why I picked a shade or two lighter. But it goes on beautifully. It blends really well. It doesn't crease. When you set it, it kind of just meshes really well with your setting powder. And it really lasted all night. I wore this for probably, I don't even know, like a good 6-8 hours. And I didn't have any issues with it creasing, moving, breaking, anything. It just is a really great concealer you can find at the drugstore. And I paid, I think, $10 for this at Target, but I'm sure you can find it cheaper elsewhere. But I mean, I'm just always at Target, so I picked it up from there. And then to set my under eyes and the rest of my face, I did something a little different. Instead of using a setting translucent powder, I did use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder. I typically use this for all over my face, but I wanted to try to use it underneath my eyes and the rest of my face, just to kind of see how that would work. So that's what I did, and I actually really ended up liking it. And then for bronzer, I'm using my Pretty Vulgar bronzer. I need to figure out the name of this. It'll be listed down below. Of course, this I got in my Boxy Charm this month. I love this bronzer. It is amazing. It blends so nicely on my skin. It doesn't move my makeup underneath. It just is so beautiful, and it's definitely more on like the natural side. I don't really contour a lot, so it's just a great bronzer for every day. And then to give myself some pinkiness, redness to my face, I'm using my blush. This is from my Be The Light Becca palette. Love that palette. It's amazing. And then I'm going to go ahead and just finish the rest of my eyes. And then I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face with Max Charge Water. I love this setting spray. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish my lips. I'm going to be using the iluvsarahi and Colourpop collab lippy as well. This is in the color Floor. It's so pretty. It's so vibrant. I love these kind of orangey, reddy tone lippies. This is a liquid matte lipstick, so it definitely can give you that mattifying look. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.